Alright, we're recording.
Nice.
Brandale, we should start with, like, your biographical information.
Okay.
Do you want to, introduce yourself, or?
Brandale Elmore. This is being recorded at my home in Powell, Tennessee.
It is June the 19th of 2021. And, alright, I'm trying to also remember your birthday. It's, like, September 7th?
1986.
Boom. Alright, I knew it was 1986. Dude, I had a fucking, what was her name? Doug's wife, like, argued me about that. I was like,
Occupation is head of maintenance for 865 Fulfillment. It is an assembly line packaging and shipping warehouse.
Oh, yeah. And, alright, we should start with, like, what, do you have, like, foundational memories? Like, what, like, if you were to, yeah, don't die here. And he's dead.
My driveway used to be so much nicer. It was nice and smooth.
Yeah.
And,
well, dude, what happened here? Yeah,
Hallsdale Powell Water had to come up here and replace pipes and tore up my driveway.
I think I was
tore the woods out right
Wasn't I here when part of that started happening, I think? Cause, I remember I was, like, coming up here and you said they'd, like, you, like, told me to go a different direction or something. I had to go, like, that way or something.
Yeah, you came at that one time while they were in the midst of it.
In the midst. Maybe we could begin, like,
and they had the backhoes and all that parked in my yard.
Yeah, so it goes. Dude, alright, so here's what is, like, for the Brandale Elmore, like, memory, like, because that's how you go, man, is, like, you have to go through your memory. Like, what are your first, like, foundational memories? Like, do you have, like, where you like...
My initial foundational memory, the first one that can come to mind, is hiding under a neighbor's porch in an old trailer park that I used to live in. I was about 4 years old, maybe.
Yeah.
And I remember it only scarcely. I mean, there's a couple other parts in there I remember. That's the one that most strongly comes to mind of that, the earliest of my life.
Do you remember what the trailer park name was? Or?
No.
Okay.
No, not at all. I might have a memory. I think, no. My earliest memory, my real earliest memory, is my family. I'm actually maybe 3 years older, 2 or something. My family lived on Marilia off Central.
Yeah. And
we're riding in the back of the car down the back alleyway, and little bit more memories in that era, but trying to pinpoint the specific first.
When you were around age 4, though, that was when you first started remembering your memories.
Yeah, my family's always lived around Knoxville. Born and raised.
Okay.
Born and partly raised. Other half of my life after middle school or in the middle of middle school, we moved to Maynardville when our house burned down. Yeah.
Oh, shit, so that's why you moved to the Stanley Welch's?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
It's the same trailer we lived in. We moved to Stanley Welch's. It got burnt. We're walking up a hill right now. So,
we're worn out. I'd be like, I am out of breath now.
And then I light a cigarette.
Hell yeah. Smoke. Yeah. Cancer's got to take us eventually. Something. So, do you remember how... Alright, so, what about your memories? Do you have any other memories pre-Stanley Welch's trailer park before I met you, though?
Oh, yeah. Quite a lot.
Well, I figure, but, like...
before we've met, immediately... Before you and I met Stanley Welch's trailer park, when the house burnt, we were living on Minot Road in Hall's Crossroads, just next to Rifle Range.
Oh, that's where Nate lives.
The Black Oak Trailer Court.
Nice.
And Mom and Dad had bought the trailer, and family was over one day, and they were going to cook, but instead of cooking, we went to, where we go? Golden Corral.
Oh, nice. The Golden Trough, as my ex used to call it.
It might have either been Golden Corral, or it might have been like what used to be Great American Steak and Buffet.
Yeah. Oh, I remember that.
Down on Merchants.
Dude, I remember.
Now it's Ryan. Oh, no, now it's Austin's. Anyway, there was grease left on the stove, and stove eye was on, and grease fire started.
Damn.
And burnt the kitchen. And Mom and Dad rebuilt it, but they said now it's an eyesore, so get it off, get it out of our lot. And so we moved up to Stanley Welch's.
Now, did you get a insurance payment out of that?
I think Mom and Dad did.
So it was quotation marks burned it. And I was like,
all right.
No,
All right.
I just.
Yeah. Well, from a trailer park with paved roads and mowed lawns to a trailer park with a gravel road, and you're lucky if the lawn ain't got a dead car on it.
Yeah. Man, really stepping down those trailer parks. We lived at the best trailer park of all time. It was paved.
My grandmother lived across the road from us at Black Oaks on Minot, because Black Oaks takes up both sides of Minot.
Yeah.
We lived on one side. My grandmother, my dad's mom, Nanny, lived on the other. So let's keep going down this way.
It's my road, though. No, I'm just kidding. Gregory
Lane. We are at the corner of Gregory Lane and Harmon Road.
There's a Harmon's in Utah. It's a grocery store. It's pretty cool. But anyway, back to your recollection of your memories.
So I lived in Black Oak Trailer Court, and I went to Halls Middle School. And before I went to Halls Middle School, I went to Adrian Burnett. Well, I acted out at Adrian Burnett. I was a wild child, and I got sent to Lonsdale. I also went to Lonsdale when I was 7 years old to 2nd grade, when some other bad times had hit my family, and we had to move into Lonsdale projects. We've also had to live in Western Heights. So anyway, I've gone to Brownlow in 3rd grade. 4th and 5th grade was at Lonsdale. Adrian Burnett, half of 4th grade, and the other at Adrian Burnett, and the other half of 4th grade at Lonsdale, and then 5th grade at Lonsdale.
Are there any, like, exceptional memories or, like, little, like, details in your head from those days that, like, stick out in your mind, like, important anecdotes or, like, just little events?
Inner city school, you know?
So
being one of the very few white kids in black school.
I don't know how that can be.
I made a surprising amount of friends, but I was also the absolute wild kid, you know, the one that would just act. I'm not going to go into specifics how I act out, but you know, the one that would pick up and throw a chair across.
Yeah, you have the well, you know, it's interesting. I had that eventually on my questions on my interview I was going to get into, but we could get into it now. It's like you've always seemed like, you know, you always you have that. Now you're like chilled down, like you know, like. What do you call it? Like charisma wise, but you've always had that like fight against the grain kind of mentality, you know, where it's like you don't give in to peer pressure like other people do, you know, like
not anymore. Not like
but
everything changed. I was a completely different character before high school. And about around the time that you met me, that I was still in middle school, you met that absolute wild character. And during high school, you know, repercussions started to set in, you know, and I can't really go into detail in describing, you know, the types of repercussions and ramifications I recognized. But I started to recognize that there were some, and I'm starting to recognize that, you know, life is starting after this.
Do you feel like it is, like, that is a thing? It's like shit just starts adding up to where it, like, weighs on you to the point where you can't be, like...
Things eventually start to matter. It's about that same time that, you know, Jumper by Third Eye Blind really hits you. You know?
Wish you would step back.
You start to develop empathy. You start to develop guilt.
I still haven't figured that one out. I messed up.
No. And it's about that time. It's like you start to straighten up, I suppose. You start to look, but you know, I was still pretty wild in my 20s and lazy. I mean, I've always considered myself a rather lazy guy.
Well, it's like you had to find the right thing to motivate you, right? It's like you're not motivated by the same shit everyone else is motivated by.
I couldn't tell you at what point in my life I came to this recognition or realization. It's about sometime during high school, maybe. The only way anyone really learns anything is by caring. I mean, now, you don't have to care with all your heart. It doesn't have to be all end all for you.
Yeah.
You just have to give a shit.
Yeah.
And it's like, if I want something, if I want to know something, I'll go grab it. I'll go learn it. I'll go do it. I don't know what I want except to just get by.
Yeah.
I like video games.
Oh, yeah.
I go to work. I like work. Oh, I could talk all day about my job.
I mean, you're freaky to ramble about your job, too. You know, I don't want to, like,
who would have
take
figured?
it over.
Who would have figured this guy that
I
I just vaguely described? You know, that would become the head of maintenance for a facility, for an entire warehouse facility.
Yeah, it's like later life compensation, where, like, you started out not working much, and then you're like, fuck it, I'm gonna put my all into it.
We've got this big-ass fan from Big Ass Fans.
Yeah.
And it's fun to have it around. When I first started working there, you know, you're in a warehouse, it always gets hot. Those places are like ovens.
Yep, I've worked in a few.
And I've worked a lot of, you know, not a lot of warehouse, but I have been in warehouses.
Yeah.
Now, you know, the dealer's warehouse, I never worked for more than one. I loved working there too, man. I loved loading trucks. All I wanted to do was load trucks.
Takes your mind off things and everything.
It's just nice. Makes you feel like a man when you're picking up big old, 80-pound door on your shoulder and you carrying it on a truck, then you come back for 5 more.
Yeah. Helping construct everything that makes life, you know. Building part of the role. Yes.
But I love fiddling around with that thing. I like moving it around, and it certainly makes the place more comfortable, that big-ass fan.
Yeah. So is that when when you started getting this maintenance job, that's when you started enjoying work, right? It's like before that you didn't.
Well, before I moved out of my parents' house, work always seemed to me as like that struggle to survive.
Yeah.
You know, I have to go out and I have to make that effort in order to live.
Yeah.
And it's like, somewhere along the way, the realization comes from that life's an effort, so just go out and fucking make it, don't complain.
Yeah. Man.
I also wanted independence, you know, and being able... I never try to take it for granted that I drive a car, I have a house, I have money in my pocket.
Yeah.
I can, not at this very moment, I forgot to grab my wallet.
Fuck, I'm broke.
Fuck! I need to grab my wallet! Anyway, I can jump in my car and go to the grocery store for whatever the fuck I want. And it's like, don't take that for granted.
Yeah, for sure, man.
I can drive a car.
Did you just not feel like... Alright, so I remember you said your first job, I guess, you were working with your dad at that... Was it a fucking, like, automotive thing or something?
My first legit job was working at Maynardville Express Lube across from middle school. Across from Horst Maynard Middle in Maynardville. That's it. I was a grease monkey.
Grease monkey. Porch monkey.
And that's it. Somebody comes in for full service, you know, refill their fluids, air up their tires, change their oil.
And then the first time you were on your own for like a job was when you did the Travis Meeks thing with like me and Mickey.
That was you and Mickey. That's the first time I ever went out, you know, just on my own. And that place, man, just go... Because it was during the summertime.
Yeah.
And you know how they kept it in there. It was like 45,
for real,
40
yeah,
degrees.
it's freezing.
Some places are even below freezing because they have to keep it that way. And
2008.
And then you go out for, you know, every 2 hours you go out for your 10-minute or whatever, 15-minute break or whatever. And it's freaking like 98 degrees outside.
It's like you switch, right?
And then you're coming back in, you know, you out for a cigarette.
Oh, yeah.
And then you're coming back in to that freaking, you know, just above freezing or below freezing temperatures and going back out again. Man, I was getting sick.
Yeah. Dude, do you know one cool thing of us about working there was, remember you would come over, like, we'd all hang out sometimes at my house, like, in the morning, and, like, me and Mickey would all wrestle around.
Oh,
Dude, I remember he threw you over his head, and you're like, and he's like, oh, Brenda, are you okay? And you're like, I'm okay, but I think you won.
I think you won.
That was one of my favorites.
I can always take an ass whipping, but I know when, I was like, okay, I'm not going to be able to dish one out right now.
Dude, those are so fun, though, those times, man. It's so funny because, like, in retrospect, like, at the time we were like, this is like the past is behind us, and then it's like you don't realize how much more past is like adding up, It's like now those are like part of the nostalgic times. Like, dude, we're further from that time than we were reminiscing about the childhood before that. Isn't that fucking crazy if you think about it, man? Well, it's like we were reminiscing then, and now it's like way more times passed since then. It's fucking crazy, man.
Yeah. And man, you think about time, keep moving forward. We're gonna be reminiscing over this sometime.
I know. That's what we're recording, man. Dude, I learned, even back then I was remembering, I was thinking about that's why we record, man. We take a video camera. And that's when I had, it was like March 2007 when I first got that video camera. I was like, we gotta record everything, man. That's so valuable, Like, I figured it out. I wish I even figured it out sooner than that, but I just figured it out. I was like, yeah, it's not gonna be much now, but in the future, this is gonna mean something, And I don't know why. I feel like to me, the future clicked. The importance of figuring out the future clicked sooner than some people. It's like people.
So where are you going?
Go ahead.
Where you going yourself? Are you moving around a lot and you're trying to create something, ain't you?
I don't know yet. Well, I really, at this point, like, I don't have any grand vision, Because, like, my stepbrother talked to me. It's like, I don't understand your grand vision. I was like, I don't have one. It's like, the only meaning I'm finding in my life is to find interesting experiences.
It looks like you're trying to put together a body of work.
Yes, for writing, yes. I'm trying to write.
Not just, we're doing this right now.
Yes, too. My projects, yes, correct.
Your projects. It looks like you're trying to at least create a body of work.
Yeah. Like, there's no, like, I feel like a lot of people with their projects, so it's like they want, I know there's no monetary value necessarily in this shit, but it's like, I want to be the keeper of memories, It's like, I feel like that's kind of like, I don't know if you call it my calling or whatever, but it's like, that's what I want to do, is I want to be like, look, this is, like, these are the experiences we had together, man. It's like, I want to remember that shit. Like, I'm obsessed with not just nostalgia, but the fucking specific memories of not just the culture, but of friendships,
Yeah, there's YouTube series. I can't remember what it's called right now. That does pretty much the same thing. Does animates people's conversations.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, I just love this shit because, like, I'm just trying to think of all kinds of different ways to capture memories and, just shit like this, even like us talking, or the conversation itself is valuable, but the actual details are interesting to go over too, and it's just like,
yeah.
I mean, it's hard to, I don't know, it just, there's something of, get over, car, man, it just,
yeah, looking for nostalgia.
Yeah, but it's not just like cultural nostalgia. It's almost like I want to figure out, like, there's so many, like I said, like my friend, when Joe Williams died, I know you didn't know him well, but it's like, we had a falling out, but it's like, man, I still wish I had video of him to be like, look, because like Cody would hang out with him, like look, there's videos of, jump.
Here's videos.
This side, here we go. But yeah, I just want, some kind of permanence, man. It's like life. It's like that line from Blade Runner, like tears in the rain. It's gonna all wash away, and so you can't capture. It's like you can't really capture time in a bottle, but you can kind of capture an image of it. You can capture the audio.
We can get snapshots. It's just an audio snapshot.
That's what I want. I just want to be able to pull up my laptop and be like, look, I can look back on the past to some degree.
That's the reason we carry mementos.
Yeah,
exactly. You wear a badge or a medal.
Well, like, one instance of it is, I remember I used to collect like movies and shit, and I started becoming a minimalist, and I was like, now I'm like a digital hoarder, because I'm like, look, the best thing to capture is memories, because the cool thing about memories, if you collect them, is no one else will have the same collection you do, and they're so valuable, man. It's like anybody can have a fucking movie collection, but
you can pull out your ethics and your morality from there. There's like conversations that you have. Where did you build your beliefs?
Yeah.
Like, where did we build our beliefs when we were young? Now, I can't say where the moment came in that I knew you were going to be in my life for. It was like you were going to be one of those key figures. You were going to be one of those permanents.
Yeah, for real.
It was like I don't know when that time came that I realized it.
Yeah, it's like you and me earlier, so we could talk about it since we didn't have the thing on earlier, but it's like I was talking to you about, like, we felt it almost like we transcended the old friendships we had, like with Mickey and shit. It's like all those people. It's like we didn't become a product of our environment the same way they did.
That's it. Well, their ideas on self-service are really narrow.
Yeah.
I know my family
Yeah.
takes care of itself without me, and I don't feel a need to impose myself in any way on anyone else's life. And it's those kind of mindsets where, I don't know, imposition on another's life is what gets you forward.
Who else? Do you remember the first people you met from the trailer park? Like, other than me? I know you met me and Mickey. I don't know if there's any other people that you remember that, like, how you met them.
Randall?
Oh, Randall.
Ronnie?
Wait,
Robbie?
I remember Randall, but who else?
Randall? There was a Randall.
I do remember Randall, yeah.
Okay, yeah, there was a Randall. I remember Randall now. He moved over the hill down Raccoon Valley.
With Vinny. He had a brother named Vinny.
Yeah.
Where we're going, left or right, by the way?
Let's go there.
Left. All right, so is that where the train tracks are?
No.
I think you and me rode.
We're just gonna wander around.
See?
A bit. No, we're gonna head back down
Yeah,
that way.
it's weird. Like, looking at time, man. I remember. I think we rode down here on bikes. Remember back in 2016, man. It's interesting to think. Do you remember? I don't know if you remember.
I wouldn't know if I was.
Wait a minute. No, wait. Never mind. Maybe this isn't the time. Fuck. It reminds. No, I bet it wasn't this area because it was. We were at the other. What the fuck?
Man, I miss.
God damn it!
I miss bike riding.
Yeah. What the fuck was that place called? The Young Barrington Hall. Is that what you called it?
The Young Barrington Hall.
All right. So maybe it's not the exact place, but it reminds me of an area where you went.
You're the one that called it that. Or
what?
No, Uriah called it.
Yeah,
Uriah called it that. The Young Barrington Hall.
Hell yeah. How's he been, by the way?
Uriah?
Yeah. Well, if you don't want to talk to him about it on audio, you don't have to.
Nothing personal is going to go on public record.
I mean, I can edit anything out of this too. I'm not gonna if I don't even know if I put it on YouTube. If I do, we can discuss it first. So.
It's irrelevant. Uriah's been fine, but the reality set in that he needs to get a job, and he's I suppose not the person he wants to be, but I don't know the type of person he really does want to be.
Yeah, I got you.
He's not the sort to open up emotionally or to really talk about, the sorts of things that I'd like to talk about.
Yeah, I know, man. I remember you telling me a little bit about it, man.
It's nothing. It's life. You move on. I was like, when you're really in love with someone, you just don't question,
Yeah.
You ride along with it.
Yeah. And you feel like this is the most intense you've been. Like, I remember before, the only ex I knew of yours was person you've been with was like Tom, so.
I was stupid, and I took advantage of him, and I was abusive, and I was just young, and another part of myself I don't like.
Gotta evolve, man.
There's a lot of me I don't like, and I almost downright hate myself as a person.
Like in the past.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, who I've become recently, I try not to look back at the person I am right now. I just try to keep doing what is supposed to be the right thing when
Yeah, I got you. Man. Up here?
Yeah, sure.
Dude, you know what? It's funny because going up here reminds me of that time in 2006. Remember when we fucking snuck into that church?
Oh, that church. We were going to go visit Derek.
Where were we going? Yeah, we were at Derek's. I don't know where the fuck we were even going. We were looking for a place to sleep, I think.
We were leaving Derek's. He was going to bed.
Were we going to our house and we got lost? I don't know.
I think we had planned a walking that far, but we didn't make it. But the cop picked us up and took us.
I made eye contact with the cop.
We broke into the church.
Yeah. Well, we didn't technically break in. That was the thing. It was
unlocked. It was unlocked. So, but we walked in, and he understood. It's like, we didn't break in. It was unlocked. I remember we're just amidst these pews, these silk covered, not silk covered.
I don't even know what the fuck that is.
They were cushioned pews. These cushioned pews
Choose.
And there's a glass door, in front of us, and it went on by, and it's like, well, I know he saw us.
Oh, God. You're like, well, I'm going outside. I walked by, and I saw him walk by, and I was like, go fast. He just, like, looked out there. You're like, fuck it.
Dude, there was a time way back when that nobody talked like the cops were anything other than, just a part of life.
Yeah.
It's like,
ACAB, no, I know.
I never grew up in a community, or personally myself, where, like, the police were a scary thing.
Yeah.
The police were never a scary thing for me. I mean, now, I do get intimidated by an officer who's acting, it's like I've caused a problem. I might get defensive, but...
Do you still feel like you're more, like, conservative? I know you always... I don't know if you actually, like, outright said it, and it's like, it's a tricky thing, it's like dichotomous thinking, but it's like I always knew, even though you were, like, gay or whatever, how you want to describe it, you were always more conservative for, like...
I've always considered myself rather conservative for a gay guy. I don't think that your ideas of what's wholesome have to conflict with your ideas of what a person should be allowed to do with their personal life.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, there's your public life, your personal life, and your private life. Now, your public life is the thing you can't avoid. That's when you go to work every day, or you go to school, you go to the grocery store, your neighbors know you. People know your name. You have a social security number. Your public life. Yeah. Well, that social security number is not public.
Indeed.
Anyway, you've got your personal life. That's your friends, your family, your relationship. People who really know the subject of your character. Yeah. They know the type of influences and what. But then you've got your private life, your sex life, the shit nobody needs to know about whatsoever. Yeah. And your private life doesn't have to really have anything to do with your public or your personal life. But, your private life usually does revolve around your personal life.
Yeah, indeed.
So, my politics could be fluid. It's just, don't hurt nobody. Doesn't matter what else you do. Just don't hurt and take advantage of anybody else. Be a good person.
Indeed. Well, do you feel like, what are views given, I don't know if I should, like, preface it like that, but I'll just say, like, what are views on the current cultural climate? Do you think overall things are better, or do you feel, like, frustration with the cultural climate? I know a lot of people do have mixed feelings about it, so.
Man, there's been signs of the end times for the past 40 years.
Well, that's what they always say. Well, it's like the older generation's always like, the newer generation is full of shit. It's like, this is where it ends.
How's it go? Everyone older than me is an idiot. Everyone younger than me is a moron.
Yeah, there you go.
It's the same thing as, like, on the highway. Everyone faster than me is an idiot. Everyone slower than me is a moron.
Yeah. It's like you're always fucking... Everyone... like, the mad... Oh, he's a fucking madman. He's going fast. Look at this moron in front of me going slow. I have to go around him, Fuck... it's like with... wealth is like that, too. It's like, people that poorer than you can, like, look down on. And then the people... they fucked over... Like, they use the system to get where they are.
That is really a sense... That comes from nature over nurture, man. Yeah. That is a lot of nurture to create people that are that vapid. Yeah. I mean, people... Well, not... Vapid's probably really the wrong word. But the people that are that, lack of empathy, lack of understanding. It's like, man, you ain't never seen somebody, you ain't never been hurt.
Yeah. I remember last time we talked, you also said you were trying to control rage issues. Like, I remember you said
I have always had anger issues. I have always had anger issues. And through high school, I started to take, anger management courses and sought therapy and such. Got into fights so much, they put me in alternative school.
So it goes.
So yeah, it's like, you probably bring it up when I, just raged out recently at work.
One, you can talk about, if you'd rather talk about that one, but I remember one incident that stuck in my mind was when you said, I can't remember all the very specific subtleties of it, but you said you were at, like, a stoplight and you, like, pull out a crowbar, you're, to attack somebody or something.
So, Now, this was probably like a Monday when I had to work late.
Yeah.
We usually work till 5 on Mondays. So I'm heading home from work. This is when I lived at the Young Barrington Hall.
Oh, yeah. You're as Uriah Hall.
Uriah Hall.
Uriah. What? Oh, Uriah Hall's an MMA fighter. I was like, Uriah Hall? And I get, yeah. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm aware.
How do you?
And there's a series of stoplights on the way home. And one of them is a bit uphill. You have to stop on an incline. And I stopped a bit close to the back end of the guy's truck. And small truck. I can't remember what type. And, well, apparently it's a manual, because he's worried about having to roll backwards and what on me. Let's walk up through here.
Alright, sir.
And so I wasn't paying attention. I just parked up too close behind him. And he's cussing out his window. We both got our windows down. It's a hot day. And I'm just not feeling it. And I'm just, trying to ignore the motherfucker. Flip him a bird or whatever.
Hell yeah.
Well, we pull away. And he was cussing up a storm. And I was just, just ignoring the shit. I was like, fuck you, dude. I don't even listen to you today.
Yeah.
We pull up to the next light, and it's a 4-lane. The 2 left lanes are for turning. Center lane's for going straight, right lane's for turning. And I'm in the second turning lane on the left.
Yeah.
And he's in the right lane, about 3 cars back. And we're waiting at the red light. And I hear him because windows are still down. I hear him from way back there say, "Motherfucker wants his ass whipped."
Oh, shit.
Or "Motherfucker trying to get his ass whipped."
You're like, I'll fuck this guy.
And my head snapped straight back and locked eyes with the guy.
Oh, yeah.
And I ripped off my seatbelt. I shoved the car into park.
Oh, yeah.
I popped the trunk, got out, and I got this 3-foot crowbar in the back, and I was fingertips away from grabbing that crowbar. I was almost touching it, just a fingertip away. Ooh, going up hills, man.
Yeah, not right.
I'm a smoker. And I look up for just a moment, or however I noticed it, and there's this fat guy in a suit and tie, looks like a real estate agent or whatever, or just coming back from his cubicle. And he's in a 4-door sedan, and his eyes are as wide as saucers. I understand. I scared the shit out of this poor fat guy who didn't know what was going on. And he's had his windows down too, so he probably heard the same thing. Motherfucker wants his ass whipped.
Yeah.
Trying to get his ass whipped. I was so damn angry. I was fingertips away from going over and bashing the shit out of somebody's car with my crowbar. And I saw this terrified guy staring at me. And I slammed the trunk, got in the car just as the light turned green, and peeled out. I never looked at the guy behind me again. I don't know if I scared him.
Yeah. That's fucking crazy.
Let's go down this way.
Yeah. Man, but it's interesting, like, shit like that, like, even though it's like, man, I shouldn't have done that or whatever, it's like, our flaws make us interesting, too, the fact that we would even think to do shit like that,
I don't understand how and why and where it comes from that I get that damn angry at times.
Yeah.
I think it was also a little around the time that I was trying to stop smoking as well, and also about around the time that I had to look for a place to move out of that Barrington house.
Yeah. When did you move out? Was it 2017 or so?
October the 15th, 2017.
Yeah.
And I've lived in my new house since. 2018. I think I moved out in 2018.
Yeah.
And I've lived in... currently live in a 2-bedroom single-wide trailer that sits in front of the landlady's double wide.
Nice.
On a, middle-class community in Powell.
Who So who technically are your roommates? So did you have people just come over and hang out certain days, or? Like...
Well, Uriah and his dad pay rent, and that's well, they don't really. I haven't made anybody. It's just Uriah gave me $100. Jeff used to pay rent, but Jeff ain't been around because Jeff's been living in
He's the one going to West Virginia.
West Virginia. Well, he's been going to West Virginia for the past like almost a year now.
Yeah.
For work. Working out of state.
Yeah.
Fire watch on a welding job.
Nice.
And other things too. I'm sure he's not just doing the fire watch. But no, I've always been able to take care of the place by myself. I originally moved in with my brother Matt.
Yeah.
And
Matt Dangerfield, right?
Matt, he's not my real brother, but I've lived under the same roof with the guy for like 13 years, so he's as close to me as any brother's ever been.
Where'd you meet him?
Matt?
Yeah.
Well, first off, Matt got with my sister Micah and moved in with her, and that's how I got I'm living there by myself, just me and Sadie, for about almost a year, just about a year before Jeff moves in. Me and Matt, when my parents first moved the house up on the piece of property that they got now, up on the hill.
Yeah.
Let's walk on the sidewalk.
Yeah, for sure. Let's do it. Why make things complicated?
The sidewalk's only in front of this house. It's weird, right?
Wait, like,
is this
these are the elite here.
We somebody important house. They've got a sidewalk.
No one else is allowed a sidewalk with these.
When my parents first moved up on the piece of property they got now, not a lot of people lived up in that hollow, in that community.
Yeah.
But we had neighbors below us, the Shepherds, husband, wife, and daughters. And they're good people, Floridians. They were good people. I
still need to visit Florida soon. I haven't yet.
Anyway, well, they moved back down to Florida eventually, and that piece of property was vacant for a little while. And it's a property next to my parents, an acre away from them. And Matt's grandparents moved in, John and Carol. And a little later, Matt moved in with them. And one day, Mom and Dad just tell me, it's like, and we got along with John and Carol pretty good, too. They're just your basic old couple.
Yeah.
They tell me that the grandson moved in with him. He was about around my age. I was 24 at the time. No, not 24. I was like,
by the way, which
21.
Left or right, by the way?
Left.
Right.
I was like 21, I think. Anyway. So, Mom and Dad tell me that son moves in. He's about around the same age as you. You might want to, you guys both like video games. You might want to hang out. And I'm like, no, I've already got a pretty good circle of friends. I don't want to try and meet some new guy. He's probably some dork or nerd or some shit.
And then you found out it was.
Eventually, I had to go down to John and Carol's for something sometime. Borrow a cup of sugar or whatever.
Yeah. And
we met. And we kicked it off, and we do like the same TV shows, movies, music, and video games.
Hell yeah.
And we're about to take the train tracks now.
Nice. Other side of the tracks, like a fucking greaser novel by Stephen King.
There's a gas station, hence the reason I'm out with one in my wallet.
Oh, Lord. I mean, I'll buy you something.
You ain't got to, right? That little pavilion there, or whatever.
Yeah.
That's a drive-through coffee shop.
Like
it's also an outdoor coffee shop.
Yeah.
And that's the Lifehouse, the place that we went before.
Oh, is that the coffee? That's the coffee shop.
Yeah, they did that for the COVID, so they could keep up business during the COVID. They set that up.
Oh yeah, sweet. Are they still in business, the coffee shop?
That's them.
Oh, over there. Okay.
Yeah, they don't really take business in the building that they were once in.
Oh, they're like, okay, got you.
They've been taking it outdoors in this little plaza.
Nice. That's cool.
But I'm sure you can't get a sandwich like
like
Yeah,
you
it took
said.
me forever to get
The only
freaking
beef I had
sandwich.
with them was I went over to them and I asked, "Do you have green tea matcha?" And they had no idea what the fuck I was talking about. How do you go to a fucking coffee place and they don't know what green tea matcha is, though? But whatever, man. It's no biggie.
I don't usually go to fancy places like that. I work for a living.
Yeah, what do you call me? I'm part. Do I consider myself part of the working class, even though I don't work? I don't.
Well, what's your typical income?
Dude, I get right now it depends because I used to donate plasma, you know, because I get $800 a month. But I was getting sometimes when I donate plasma at the maximum rate, at least $300 a month. So I get like $1,100. But right now I was like, man. The problem is I can drive to like Bowling Green, Kentucky, because I'm like right in between Nashville right now, where I am, and Bowling Green, in Cottontown, Cross Plains, Tennessee. So if I drive, it's just not worth it because my cars always end up fucking up. So I'm like, it's not really worth it to drive that much. So like it cuts out $300 of my income, but at least I'm hoping my car stays together. But like if I go back to Utah, like St. George, Utah or something like that, where I stay with Kay, and then the drive is only like 10 minutes, if that, to go donate plasma. So if
donating plasma has been your source of income for how long?
Oh god, since 2016. It's not my main source, obviously. I get SSI and SSDI. Dude, I just couldn't work. I used to work all the time, you know, I'd be at temp agencies and shit. Dude, I just couldn't hold down work. I'd have panic attacks or shit, you know, like all that shit. And just like, I was like, man, I just can't hold down work. So I'm like, fuck it, you know, I'm just gonna do what my stepdad did, the one that died, you know, Wayne.
Yeah.
Back on May 24th. But I decided I'm just gonna do what he does, you know, get SSI or SSDI, and I just can't, you know, I can't hold down the work. It's just too stressful to be like, I can only pay rent or I can only fucking afford shit when I'm working.
What happened?
Like I was working.
What happened made it an easy transition for me.
Yeah.
Is I didn't move straight out of my parents' house, get a job, and start paying bills.
Yeah.
I found a group of friends who were all living in what basically was a flop house.
Yeah.
Chris and Max's grandmother had owned it. Chris and Max had grown up in it, kind of. Their mom moved out, had her own place, and they like left the whole damned house to Chris and Max, and it's a big ass house with a basement, you know. And you had to know it was a flop house to begin with, man. Not a trap house. You know, there were never any heavy or hard drugs.
Fuck, what's the fun then? No.
Just weed, shrooms, and acid.
Add Molly to that mix? You got me sold.
Well, Molly and pills, you know.
Alright, there we go.
Nobody was ever overdosing. Nobody was ever, tripping out.
My problem is I'm always underdosing.
Tripping out too bad.
Yeah, I got you.
Nobody tripped out to the point that they almost killed themselves or killed themselves.
Yeah.
No, it was actually a pretty well taken care of environment, except it was not a well taken care of infrastructure.
Yeah.
They let the house go to shit like a bunch of kids would.
Yeah.
And that's all it was a bunch of kids. But the only thing I moved in, the only thing I had to pay was rent, so that meant money could be saved up. That means the only thing I had to really pay for was my rent and food for myself. And my parents helped me with a car.
Yeah.
So, get my driver's license and all that. Get a job.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of resources I hadn't had before, and I had a lot of luxury because the only thing I had to pay was rent and food. Any other money I got to play with, and for a little while there, I got to play for a bit.
Well, that's awesome, dude.
But then we saw the end coming, and I knew I'd have to get a place of my own. And I was really lucky by that time. I had found solid and, stable work. Something that I wasn't worried about, losing within the next year or so. I was like, I need this job for several years.
Yeah.
Before I found the good place, the place I want to stay, I was still living in that environment where I could give up a job and still be okay. Even if I was broke, I lived in a house with a bunch of other people.
Yeah.
I was still like, hey, dude, you got anything in the fridge I can eat?
So it goes.
As long as I could make rent.
Where was the last place you lived before this place? It was the Young Barrington Hall?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You said you moved in 2018.
I found this on Craigslist. We learned we had to leave. And I started looking for places, and Craigslist is where I looked, and she's the first place I went and visited, the first place I called. And it was better than expected. The place came fully furnished.
No, that's pretty cool, man. I like the setup, man. You don't need anything. So you don't need a lot of room. Like me, I'm a fucking minimalist, man. So it's like, I don't really need a ton of room. It's like just enough to...
No, I got a lot. I've been getting lucky since I moved out of my parents' house. I've gotten lucky, and things haven't always been great. Things haven't always been easy.
Yeah.
There's times when I thought I wasn't going to make it.
Yeah.
You get over it. You get past it. It's like anytime you think you're about to opt out, you just think there's something else. This isn't the end. I'm not going to starve to death. No one's about to come bash my skull in.
Allegedly.
Well, if you do live in that situation where you are about to starve to death and someone's about to bash your skull in, that's like, I don't understand your life. I've never been there.
Hey, you never know when Richard Ramirez is ready to break into your house and night suck your ass, man. So I'll probably
keep reminding myself, no matter how hard it's been, I have been lucky.
Yeah. It is, if you think about it, though, man. I think of so much of life is like, there's no certainties, just like probabilities, man. It's like, even when you think, like, I was thinking about, like, with serial killers, but it's like anything, man. It's just like, this will probably result in this, but there's no guarantees, you know, man. It's just like, that's part of the reason why I don't ever, like, have grand schemes or grand goals, man. It's just like there's so many opportunities for it to fall apart. It's like, what are the probabilities, And also, I just can't find anything that motivates me that much, It's like,
it was about for me. It was about actually when I first moved, it was about giving up a lot.
Yeah.
It's some sacrifice, because when I moved out of my parents' house, and like I said, I had access to money, and the only thing I had to worry about was rent and food.
Yeah.
I was, it was luxurious.
Yeah.
It was opulent in some cases.
Yes.
And when I realized the time was coming really soon that I was going to have to pay for utilities, I was going to have to start worrying about gas, I was going to have to start worrying about those situations where, well, I don't have enough money to buy anything to eat this week. Yeah. I'm going to have to live on ramen.
Yeah.
You keep hauling it out. You sacrifice for that. It's like, Mom and Dad drilled it in my head. This is one of the things they constantly told me. Mom and Dad are all full of little tidbits of wisdom, little quotes and all that. Everybody's parents really are.
Yeah.
Everybody really is. Gets it from someone.
Yeah.
But my parents always drilled it into me. You pay your bills. You take care of all of your responsibilities, all of your necessities. You've got a roof over your head, food in the fridge, gas in the tank. And you don't have any money to play with, well, then you don't get to play. But you did good.
Yeah. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy.
And you don't get to go out and, you don't go out to the bar, or you don't go to a restaurant or something like that.
Yeah.
Make a bowl of cereal and put on a movie, even if it's not a movie you want to watch.
You got Pirate Bay? Pirate Bay's free?
Huh?
Said Pirate Bay is free.
It's a lot easier to find something to distract yourself nowadays when you ain't got shit. For real.
YouTube, man. I could be on YouTube all day.
So you don't even need a television anymore. Everybody's got their phone.
Hell yeah.
Right? You get Hulu and Netflix and Crunchyroll and every other streaming service you need on your phone.
Speaking of focus on your folks, man, do you know how they met? Like, do you know their biography?
Mom and Dad. Yeah, I do know.
If you want to state their names for the
Henry Christopher Elmore, Cynthia Arlene Letty Llewellyn, or is it Cynthia Letty Arlene Llewellyn? Elmore. Dad's born 1960, September, that's Mom. January the 27th, 1960. Mom is September the 14th, 1964.
Close to your birthday.
Yeah. Mom's just a week after mine.
That's pro.
Mom and Dad grew up in generally the same neighborhood.
Where? In Knoxville?
4th and Gill. Down in Dad was from 4th and Gill.
Mm-hmm.
Mom was from one of the neighborhoods real close to that.
Yeah.
But they all the kids ran in the same circles as Mom and Dad say.
Yeah.
Because Knoxville wasn't a huge town back then, you know,
Yeah.
and it was during those times when all the kids still ran around in the streets, you know, the early 70s.
Yeah.
Late 60s, early 70s. And, you know, they'd known each other for a while, and there was a time in Dad's life when, you know, he was a trucker and he was out of town, and other points. Mom always lived in Knoxville. Mom never left Knoxville.
Yeah.
Dad went, you know, around a bit, you know, here and there.
Yeah.
Talks of time he lived in Florida and worked in Florida. Used to live in Mississippi worked on a dam.
Nice.
Lived in was it Hell, Mississippi or Hell, Louisiana? Had a damn job. Anyway.
Louisiana's nice.
I'm in hell and I've got a damn job.
I know there's hell in Michigan.
Yeah, he called his mom up, called my nanny up, and said, I'm in hell and I've got a damn job.
Oh, shit.
Anyway. So when Dad was a trucker, you know, he was back in Knoxville sometime, and he met Mom, and my mom was with a guy, Jackie Burchell, had 2 kids with him, Arlene and Ralph, and, one 4th of July, they was riding home in the back of a pickup truck. Jackie's hat blew off his head. They stopped. He went across the interstate to get his hat. They didn't make it back to the truck.
Oh, fuck, man.
And, you know, a couple of years later, my dad comes back into town. Mom and Dad hook up and get married. They got my brother Scotty, and then me and my sister Micah.
Yeah. Do you have any good memories with either Scotty or Micah? You wanna...
As for childhood memories, really bonding with my siblings, I haven't bonded with, like, any of my siblings to... Micah and Scotty, I do have bonds with, deep bonds with. Ralph and Arlene, by the time I was in middle school, they were graduating high school and had already started lives of their own. I never really got to know Ralph and Arlene.
I can't remember if I met Ralph. I do remember vaguely meeting Arlene. I remember Micah would bring her up sometimes. It's very vague. Do you have, like, a best memory with Scotty and Micah?
Yeah,
like, one that, like, sticks out for, like, sibling bonding?
You know? Not really.
So it goes.
No.
Dude, you know what's interesting? Me and...
Because some siblings don't really
bond
hard. Now, I'd kill for my siblings and I'd die for my siblings and I love them and we do have deep bonds.
Yes. It's interesting how it's just programmed in, right? It's like family.
It's kind of like that programmed in stuff. I don't get along with my brother Scott because Scott is hard-headed and he's strict and straight-laced.
Oh, God.
And, you know, sometimes it's like the rod up his ass has got a rod up its ass.
Yep, I can see that. I don't remember last time I saw him. Last time I remember seeing Scotty was when we drove over that fucking Brandon guy's house.
And
yeah, I won't get into that.
And Micah is a pistol. Micah is always has been pretty wild and erratic.
Yep.
And I love them both, but I can't be around either one of them for extended periods of time.
Yeah, it's very bizarre, dude. Micah almost, like, never just randomly hits me up. I remember in 2019, dude, I was in Bakersfield, California, and she just randomly started talking to me again. I guess it was right when she got with Matt or whatever, but she just, like, randomly started talking to me again, and then she disappeared. It's like, she's all over the place, man. It's like, it's just so hard to predict. So it goes, man.
She's sporadic sort.
Yep.
I can get along with them, but we only really tend to get along for short periods of time. I can't be in the company of my siblings for extended periods.
Yeah.
And they can't really stand to be in the company of each other for extended periods either.
I bet.
It's just, I don't know. Everyone in my family we get along to a degree, but inevitably we butt heads.
Yeah. Man, I remember, I feel like me and Scotty started to get along for like a little bit, and then when like me and Mike got involved, he just started hating me, so so that ended that. You remember him trying to like tackle me, dude? It was like in the trailer park, he was like trying to like run full force. Dude, he like started just hating me, man. It's fucking ridiculous.
I cannot recall.
Anyway, the last time, where's he working now? Because the last time I remember we talked.
Scott.
He was like a grave digger last time we talked.
Last time you talked, yes, he was a grave digger, and it was Highland Memorial in South Knoxville. And Scott had worked there for like, I don't know, maybe 10 years, 8 years, whatever. And he would have gotten, like, not manager, that's head of
the dead.
Yeah, he would have been head of the graveyard.
Nice. If
only he could have like gotten up and gotten to work on time. But we live in North Knoxville. We don't just live in North Knoxville. We live in fucking Maynardville. And he was working at a graveyard in South Knoxville.
He could be like doing YouTube videos like that. Caitlin Dowdy.
It could have like. Sorry, I guess.
No, go. You're good. Gazoon tight ahead of time. Yeah.
Like my position.
Yeah.
Thank you. Like my position as the head of maintenance for warehouse.
Yeah.
Like that's my warehouse. He could have been the head of the graveyard.
Yeah.
That could have been his graveyard.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, he moved on past that. He worked a little bit this and that since then, but right now he's part of a steelworkers union working for Y12, and he can't talk about what he do.
Jeez.
Right?
Speaking of Gazoon tight, dude, I think I got that from you. I remember because it was like when we were working at Travis Meats or something. I remember I'd never say, like, my uncle would be like, oh, you're supposed to say bless you. I'm like, I don't want to say that shit, I don't want to carry, like, I don't. So, like, I remember you saying Gazoon tight, and, like, it was like during when we were working at fucking, Travis Meats, and I think I just started using it ever since then.
Benefita Spiritus Sanctum.
Dude, what's interesting is, like, I hardly ever see anybody or notice anybody else that says Gazoon tight. I was at this, it was in 2017, I had this roommate, Felix, and we invited her ex-boyfriend, or, it's complicated, but it was a dude named Marcus, and I invited this chick over. Not to give too many details, I'll just call her, her name was Asia, she's black, black chick and black dude. So anyway, we invite them all over, dude, and we're playing fucking Monopoly, and somebody sneezed, I can't remember who it was, and 3 people, me, Asia, Marcus, all said Gazoon tight at the same time, and I swear I've, like, never seen everyone say Gazoon tight like that. I don't, for some reason, like, it's just like a simple memory, but it just sticks with me. I was like, 3 people fucking saying Gazoon tight after time sneeze at the same time, that's, I've never seen that shit before.
Nice.
Anyway, back to your life. Yeah.
Hey, this was Blast on the Railroad Track.
All right. So, how the fuck did Micah and Matt get involved anyway? Do you know? I mean, you don't want to get involved.
Micah was with Greg Dimian.
Yeah.
And were looking for a roommate, and Matt was looking to move out from his grandparents, so he moved in with Micah and Greg. And Micah has always had a bit of a crush on Matt, I suppose. And when Micah was finally available again, and Matt was available, they went for each other.
Interesting.
I was like, I don't know, you can find somebody you like and get laid.
So it goes. Man. Dude, never mind. I shouldn't. I was like, he's gonna wax fucking shit about, like, I shouldn't do it. This is your fucking interview, man. I want to fucking. But anyway, what the fuck? All right. I'm trying to think of where we should aim this next. Do you have any memories, like, you feel like you would like to be recorded, like, right off? Like, if you have any, like...
something for posterity?
Yeah. I mean, trust me, it's not like I'm going to end this here. I have more shit to go into, but I just had to pull up my list. But I just figured I'd ask you first.
I couldn't talk about the level of appreciation I have for family and friends.
Yeah, man.
I was, like, once again talking about how lucky I am. I feel like people deserve the best of me in times.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't give it to them at times because, once again, I am
so
lazy.
Well, I mean, there's always so much bandwidth you can give to everything, you know?
The only thing I really want to do is just chillax and play video games.
Do you ever feel like you have any more big adventures in you, though? Or?
As far as adventures go, I don't go seeking that kind of stuff.
It's funny because, dude,
I have no big adventures anymore. No,
I feel like my life is inverted to the sense like I started off so boring, and now I'm like before I had like the dim candle, you know, and now I'm like, let's burn it at both ends, you know. It's like now I'm ready to give me drugs, give me Molly, I'll try meth, I'll try cocaine, send me to Utah, send me to Michigan, send me to Florida, send me to Oregon.
I think I'm in that current place right now where I'm figuring everything has a time and a place to all good, you know, all things in their time. Yeah. So I'm like going with the flow. It's like the train tracks we're on right now. Yeah. I'm just trying to stick to the tracks right now, and it's like I don't know where they go. I don't know where they go, but you know. Hey, so far the scenery's been nice. Yeah, indeed.
Alright, so what was the last big adventure you went on? Was that the one to the Rainbow Gathering, or?
The last super big adventure like that, yeah. Rainbow Gathering would have been it. Definitely.
When was that? 2014?
2016.
2016?
I'd say about 2016, yeah.
That was when, you said that was the first time you took LSD? It was like accidentally?
Oh, no, shrooms.
Shrooms, okay.
Shrooms. First time I did shrooms with the Rainbow Family Gathering.
Nice.
And for anybody listening that does not know, it is not like a gay get-together.
Oh, Lord.
It's a bunch of like old Woodstock throw-offs that, you know, once a year or something, host a big tent village in a national park, a different national park every year or whatever.
What do you think other than that, what are some of the big adventures you've had in your life? Like big, you know, I'll just say adventures.
Big adventures I've had in my life. Yeah. It was my walkabout, but that wasn't a great big adventure. Yeah. It was the first time I got high. Yeah. High of action, other than the just kind of fucked up shit we did when we were kids, I don't have anything implicitly crazy to talk about in my life. Anything that was out of the ordinary.
Man, your whole life is out of the ordinary. What are you talking about, Brandale? You're one of those fucking, like, gems that stands out as, like...
There's lights behind us.
Oh, Lord. Does that mean there's a train coming? Like, fucking stand by me?
Sometimes the light from the woods lit everything up in this general area just
it's like a will o' the wisp.
It looked like a light was coming from behind us.
Run, Brandale, run! Like they went on a bridge. Alright, so, I remember... So we were talking, we'll kind of rewind because I remember when you were in high school, dude, you'd always have, like, people would always start fucking, like, dumbass rumors about you. Do you know how, like, that shit got started? Or, like, because I know it's probably because...
Once again, when you're that kind of wild kid that would pick a fight with everybody, and you... It was, that was it. You didn't make friends real easy. Yeah. It was like people, listen to the way I'm talking about myself, like in the second person.
No, I like it, man. It's good. Whatever comes natural.
I didn't make friends easy, and there was that sense that, well, I guess my parents fought a lot during that time. Yeah. And because things had been hard on our family with the house burning down and them having some pretty wild kids to begin with. Yeah. You know. And they're both working, and they're both trying to raise a family. Parents argued a lot. We were bad kids. And I did do some things like, you know, causing fights and breaking into houses, and why people would make rumors just because you're weird.
Yeah, I know, right? It's just like all the weird people, you know, that stand out.
When you're weird, people call you goat fucker.
You don't get into fucking, you know, like, what do you call it, like, peer pressure. You just do your own thing, and it's like you're not, you know, affected by that.
Yeah, one of the worst backhanded compliments I ever had, and I actually enjoyed it at the time until I realized what had been said to me, is that, and you probably heard this one before, I like how you don't care what anyone else thinks about you.
Yeah. And it's like that. Oh, what is that quote? It's by like Dr. Seuss. You know, it's like
What
the
is
people
this?
that care.
Way
What is-
station.
Interesting.
Or something of the accord. We're about to get electrocuted.
I hope we don't die.
Yeah, let's step away from that.
Should we go around it or what?
I think we should walk
You've
around
gone
that.
this way before, right? So I
Nah,
don't.
I didn't come this far.
Where should we go
Maybe
then?
we should turn back.
All right,
Because I didn't come this
fine.
far.
All right, that's it.
Yeah, I might. Some other time.
I was under the assumption,
Some other time
Brandale.
I walk these tracks, I
that-
might cross that.
All right, yeah, during the day, maybe it's good.
Whatever,
time.
it's solar powered, whatever it
Yeah.
is.
Props to them for being progressive.
Maybe it's just convenient that nobody has to come change your battery.
Oh Lord. All right, we're good. I was making sure I still recording. Fuck it. But yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. So I actually have a I'll go ahead and go into a question from Kay because we brought up a little bit about you being like gay and stuff. Do you consider yourself more bisexual or gay? First off.
Gay in general. But to be clear, I like the feminine form way more than the masculine form.
Interesting.
Guys, men are not built to be attractive.
They have to put in the work for.
There's a reason we're called tools, and our genitalia is called junk.
I know there's not like it's like you can't.
It's a piece of junk.
Fucking junk, dude. When did you know? Is there a certain time? Kaylee, I was wanting to ask you this because she had a question. She's mostly interested in the bisexuality, but either way you want to put it, gay or bisexual. When did you know that you're either gay or bisexual?
About the time I was introduced to the internet.
You're like, wait a minute, this
wait a minute, that's not bad. No, femboys. It's really femininity in guys, femboys. Yeah, it's cute and cute. It's like there's one. It's like, I like cute. I like to fuck cute. If it's cute, I'll fuck it.
Nice. Do you I remember, dude. I remember like thinking back because I remember you said you were in the Goth Guys or something once. Yeah. It was like the first time you told me you were gay or bisexual, and I thought you said Goth Guys, and I made some joke about you jerking off the Tiger Woods posters. Do you remember that?
Oh no, I don't. I don't.
You're like, I said Goth, you dumbass motherfucker.
No, I didn't say golf.
You're like, I really like Golf Guys. I'm a big Jack Nicklaus.
Yeah, Jack Nicklaus. You like Arnold Palmer?
Hell, yeah, I love tea and lemonade, in fact.
Big golf.
I'm bi. I like a little half and half of tea and lemonade.
I'm bi. I like
a little tea and lemonade. You know? Shit. I wish we could keep this joke going, but unfortunately I don't know too many golfers.
I don't know golf.
I
can't make a Caddyshack.
Hell yeah. Fuck, what is that? Oh, fuck, God damn it. What's that dude? Anyway, yeah, the fucking Chevy Chase. Yeah. He was at, God damn it. What's that other movie he's in that's really, I mean, that's fake. God damn it. He was in 2 of them. There's like sequels. God damn it. It doesn't matter. Where's like a detective? You know what I'm talking about? The detective show?
The defective detective.
Not that defective. No, God.
Detective show. What? Jake and the Fat.
I could pull it up, but that would.
Jake and the Fat Man?
No, God damn it.
NYPD Blue?
Dude, no, God. My goodness, dude, I got this Presque Vue. It's just Chevy Chase and he plays this.
Oh,
it's like yeah, there we go. It's like dun 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 dun. It's got Harold Faltermeyer soundtrack. Yeah, that's Fletch.
Fletch.
Yeah, I like that. That's nice. That's fun.
Yeah, Fletch.
Yeah. Anyway, that was like a completely non sequitur anyway, but that's the most annoying part. Go ahead though.
I get girls most often asking me about my sexuality and what it is I find attractive. And like I said, I like the feminine form, and there are some girls that are, downright cute. Some girls who got that ass that looks like if she shifts her hips the wrong way, she'll break your dick off.
Hell yeah. Broke dick. Break that bitch, baby.
And yeah, that's what I like. But as it was, I don't know. It's whether it's a penis or a vagina doesn't matter. Yeah. That body and that feminine attitude is attractive.
I admire, like...
But also intelligence. Intelligence is really attractive.
Oh, well, thank you.
Slap you on the back for that
Hell yeah. Dude, all right. Dude, you know what sticks with me, though, dude, is, like, your charisma and, like... I don't know, like, I feel like maybe in recent times it's like, you know, you feel more self-conscious. Dude, but I'll always remember this shit. It's like, you had this ability. We went to the mall, dude, when we were walking, you know, and that was when I was, like, looking my best, too, but I still didn't have fucking confidence. I was, like, 19, you were probably around the same 20 or whatever, and we went to the fucking mall in Knoxville. I think it was around where I was working at Kmart, or not Kmart, Target at the time, that new Target.
Okay.
And you talked to this chick, and this chick was just outside smoking, and you looked at her and you go, what are you, about an A cup or something? Do you remember, like, and dude, but it was so weird. You're just like able to make like non-awkward conversation off the sides of her tits, and I'll like never forget that shit, dude.
And take everything at face value is the trick there.
Yeah.
You know, treat everything like it's not special. Nothing's special. Nothing you can say is too outlandish. Or is that from Assassin's Creed, where I got
nice.
it? Nothing is sacred. Everything is permitted.
Yeah. Oh, what is that? Yeah, there's also a quote from Dostoevsky where it's like, if God didn't exist, everything would be permitted. But
it's like, I'm not
conversation.
Some people, if you give them a compliment, they can't separate a compliment from a sexual advance.
I know what you mean. It's like, it's a connotation versus a denotation or whatever. It's like you have, it's like,
right.
Oh, so what is the motive?
Just cause I'm talking about your tits doesn't mean I want to stick my dick in you.
Yeah.
I mean,
Maybe
I'd probably like to stick my dick in you, but that's not what I'm talking. Just because I'm talking about your tits doesn't mean that I'm feeling that way right now.
Man. I'm better about that online, dude. It's like because I'll notice the traps, you know, dudes fall into online, but when I talk to a chick in person, you know, it's like my social anxiety will get the better of me to where I just can't be that forward, you know, or like...
Oh, man, online's a different thing
for sure.
Because it allows you to take a step back from yourself and really collect the thought and why you're putting the thought down in the first place.
Yes.
It's like when it's one-on-one, things come out, and now you're not really sure why you said it, or whether you even believe it. It just seemed like the right thing in the moment.
Yeah.
But behind a screen or behind a phone, you get the time to think about what you're going to say and why.
Yeah. Man.
So it's a lot easier to put ego and anxiety aside when you're talking to somebody through text messaging service. Chat room. Do
you feel like these years are the best years of your life, or
right now I don't even think I'm in my prime yet.
Nice, that's pretty cool.
I like to think that by the time, if I keep going as I am right now, if I can stop smoking and maybe start some real exercise and eating right, which I probably won't do.
It just depends on you, man. Whenever you do it.
I feel like if I really did take care of myself, I'd be exactly the same as I am right now in my 60s.
Nice. Gray fox. Or silver fox, that's it.
Oh, yeah.
I want to be wrestling people when I'm old, dude.
But I'm taking reality into fact, man. It's like... I'm letting myself go in some cases. I smoke a lot, and I drink a lot of sodas. Well, not soda, but I eat a lot of sweets and pastries and more fast food than I should.
Like all that shit your landlady brought around.
Yeah,
like eating that too, tea cakes.
My landlady keeps dumping like snacks and pastries and shit like that on me.
That's cool. You get free food then.
I know. I do eat healthy here and there once in a while, but
for shizzle.
I'm still kind of eating on that bachelor lifestyle.
Yeah, I understand. Man.
My body is at the point right now where it processes everything properly, you know.
Yeah.
And I know I can keep it as long as I can start healthily maintaining it. But am I going to do that? And I love my father, but am I going to end up like my father where, you know, he's had 3 heart attacks and has quadruple bypass surgery, all 4 valves.
Man, that's hard.
Because he wouldn't. He kept smoking and drinking coffee and eating fatty foods. I mean, he's doing all right now, but he still smokes and drinks coffee and eats fatty foods. Maybe a little less fatty foods, but still the smoking and the coffee.
That's what I wonder about Dave, man. It's like,
Some people just push past it.
Yeah.
Some people it doesn't affect them. You worried about Dave doing the same thing?
Well, I don't know what he's doing right now. I've kind of texted him a little bit, but I remember back in the day, not like it wasn't even that long, like a decade ago, maybe, but he would be eating bacon and shit. I mean, me and him drunk. It was in 2019. It was February 2019. Mm-hmm. Me and him sat together and drank tequila together. It's like talked and watching movies. It's like. Well, Dave's interesting. What's weird is I've never really felt like I had a father figure, It's like, I would call Wayne the one that died, my dad to some degree, but neither of them, I almost feel like neither of them are really great people, or at least great fathers, So, the only person in my family I've ever cared about is my mom, so.
Right.
I don't know, it's complicated. I've never met my real dad, biological,
I never knew that. I didn't know that you didn't know your real dad.
Yeah, I don't even know his name. It's like there's some, I've been told it was maybe this guy named Buck something, or there's been talk of this Italian guy, and I don't know, I kind of look Italian. Maybe I'm Italian. I don't know. I remember this chick came up to me when I was working.
You ever think of doing genealogy?
I have. I haven't done it yet, but I have thought about doing that. I might do that. It's so weird. I'm usually such a curious person, but when it comes to my past, it's like, man, I could put so much more work into it that I haven't done. I don't know why.
My mother's done the genealogy, you, me, and 23.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. She sent hers and my dad's, my sister Arlene's DNA in to go get analyzed, and she's got the family tree all worked out. I know where I come from. I'm pretty much Irish, Scots, Welsh, a little Germanic, and a little bit of Nordic, but white bread.
Oh, yeah, my favorite. Man. When it comes to, alright, you and me, do you have any moments that stick out, in our past, where you remember, oh yeah, I did that shit with Greg, or anything, or
yeah, there are a couple episodes that stick out in the past with you. A lot of times we've wrestled.
Oh, yeah.
There was one occasion that you, Mickey, and, Ronnie?
Russell? I don't know if you were around for Russell, though.
Little crazy kid.
Fuck, there was Russell. Anyway, who the fuck else would it be?
We were taking, weak sticks, and you guys were hitting me in the heads.
Yeah, you're like,
and I'd turn to you, and you'd break a stick over my head, and I'd turn to Mickey, and he'd break a stick over my head. And I turned to whatever the kid's name was, started with an R.
Was that the dude that always asked questions? He was always
so.
Yeah, okay. I don't remember his name, but yeah, I remember him. Marty, maybe? I don't know, fuck.
Anyway, and we were going around like that for a moment because, you were breaking hollow limbs over my head. And he picked up a thick one, and it didn't break, and
I'll
hurt.
Fuck you up.
And I turned back at him because I'd gotten angry because I got hurt because I'm a kid. And I turned back at him, and I chased him with a stick, but I don't think I really hit. I might have hit him a bit, but I don't think I really, hit him.
Yeah. What the fuck was, why? Dude, it was so weird because I remember back then you would always want, people to beat the fuck out of you. What was that?
Toughening up. There's also that, at some point you realize that people really do think, violence is funny.
Yeah.
And if you can take... I want to make friends.
Buster Keaton and stuff.
Yeah. If violence is funny, I want to make friends. I don't care if I get hurt if they like me being around.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Yeah. That's the way kids think, man. At least I didn't grow up in an abusive world.
Yeah.
Or an abusive background.
Yeah.
I just had those same thoughts that come across a kid's mind. What's the only option you think you have to use?
Yeah. Do you feel like your parents were pretty good? I don't know how your upbringing was.
Yeah, but... my parents were great. My parents got handed a bad deal and did the best they could with it.
Yeah, I got you.
They weren't always the most responsible, for sure. But
fun in that, right?
But they really did care about what they were doing and taking care of what was right.
Yeah.
They didn't always manage it, but I don't hold a single grudge against my parents whatsoever. There's probably some cases where they were totally unfair to me, and you know, I had a right to, you know, throw a temper tantrum because I was being treated unfairly, but...
Yeah, understandable.
At this point in my life, I just feel like a guilty kid that caused my parents a lot of shit. And it's like, just ungrateful, immature little brat that just did whatever he wanted because there was no real sense of repercussion. Yeah. Oh, I'm going to get a spanking and locked in my room.
What do you think were like...
I didn't want to get out of bed this morning in the first place.
Yeah. Oh, God, I hated school, dude. I would never want to get out of bed. I would just, like, lay in.
Yeah.
Be like, I don't want to fucking get up. And that's why I'd go to school stinking, dude. That was one thing I always got shit for is, like, smelling bad or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
Dude, I always said, I put this in my memoirs, too. I was like, man, one of the, like, regrets was, like, me and Brandale didn't get to go to school more, you know? Because, like, we had that small fucking sliver of actual time in school.
School together, actually, If you and I could have stuck together in school, I don't know, might have done better in class.
Yeah, maybe. Never know, man. That's the thing about
we could have distracted each other.
Hell yeah. Dude, I don't know if you remember, but right around, like, the last time we were going to school together, the last time I saw James Hammond. Well, since recently. Do you remember James Hammond?
I don't.
He was the dude I was hanging around with. He was, like, my best friend at the time you and I met. And I talked to him recently, dude. It's crazy because, like, I don't know if I can find picture. It was like this tan dude. He had like dark hair. Anyway, don't matter. But he was the dude I was always hanging around. I met him back in 2016 again. Somehow he like added me on Facebook, and then he told me all this shit. It's crazy how much you don't know about like going on. He told me about all this fucked up, like, I don't know if you call it molestation, but like his family would do fucked up shit to him, like tie him up, beat the fuck out of him and shit. Yeah, it's crazy. I was like, man, it's like crazy how much you don't
think. From the trailer park.
No, he wasn't in the trailer park. I don't know. He moved. He was new to school in 5th grade. He moved in. I was hanging with this guy named Matt Gibson and this other, I don't know who else. Matt,
the guy you knew in school.
Yeah, and then when I met you, I know he knew you at the time, but he was like, it was like probably.
I don't remember people very well back then because I didn't make attachments.
Yeah, I know what you mean, dude. I didn't really either. So a lot of names would probably escape me too, but he was just one of the few people I remember his name is. But yeah, James Hammond. But anyway, what do you think were like? I remember, we would just like hang out on the bus. It was so weird because that was when you were known as like the jukebox or whatever.
Oh,
people give you money to fucking sing songs and shit.
Yeah,
that was cool.
I still love to sing. I just do it for free now.
Nah, you fucking devolved since then. You used to make 25 cents. No,
I make a pretty good money in work. I'll sing for free.
Fair enough.
No, I do a lot of singing at work. That gets you through the day.
Good, they should pay me. I remember you had me. You're like, you have to record me singing Desperado or whatever on one of my tapes.
Oh, dude, yeah.
So there's like that. I don't think I ever I don't know if I put it on YouTube. I think I've sent it to you. I mean, yeah, but
there's still some things of me on YouTube I don't want on YouTube.
Oh, dude, you're fucking alright. Dude, we should talk about your YouTube.
He's famous.
Alright, I get that you've been self-conscious since then, but dude, your YouTube, dude, that's how all of my friends know you though, because like, dude, it is really entertaining, dude. Like, people watch your videos and be like, oh, he's an interesting dude. Like, I remember my friend Ashley Miller, she's blocked, like, we've been having a falling out since then, but she really loved your videos. Kaylia, that's how
I'm afraid people look at it and think, oh, he's crazy and dumb.
No, dude, I mean, you can definitely watch it and be like, you know, it's kind of like cornily, like, pretentious, but it's hard, like, dude, even the shit I write now, I feel like, it's kind of pretentious, I guess. It's hard to escape that, but, dude, it's very entertaining shit, man.
Something to help you escape being pretentious?
Yeah.
I really feel like what you're saying is, like, you really...
Genuine.
Be truthful.
Dude, I do really do that. Like, I'll include that. It's like, if you be... I feel like, you know, you add a little bit of...
There's no pretentiousness in the truth.
Yeah, I got you. Truth. Man, I do try... You know what? Sometimes in my writings, I'll try to blend, like, you know, like... what do you call it, like high brow with low brow a little bit, so it doesn't feel like so stuffy or whatever. But all right, anyway, enough about me. You're in over you, goddamn it. What do you feel are like turning points in your life? Do you feel like there's these big moments where like it set you your life on a different course that you would have maybe missed out on or gone a different way if they hadn't happened?
Yeah, if I hadn't lost Tom, I think I still would have been spoiled to a degree. I was at that point where I thought things were just going to eventually work out for me. You know, that delusional teenager that thinks, you know, oh, it's just going to work my way.
Yeah.
It's like, no, it's that when I realized I was taking advantage and abusing something and I lost it because I was selfish and insincere.
Yeah. Have you talked to him since then?
Oh, no, he hates me.
Oh, jeez.
And for good reason.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know all the details. I do remember you'd always use my phone and want to call him or whatever, and you try to work things out. Was he your first big love?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, April White was, but April White was a senior in high school when I was a sophomore.
Yeah.
And she's redhead. She was hot, and she was suicidal.
Always fun. Suicide girls.
I don't think she ever went that far with it, and she was really into me.
Yeah. What happened with that?
I was really into Tom.
Yeah. Oh, at the time. Okay.
And like she was my first serious girlfriend, you know, who I really had feelings for.
Yeah.
But it was also at that time, you know, it's maybe it was a bit of a rebellious nature, wanting to pursue, you know, a girly boy.
Yeah, I got you. You feel like because you hadn't really got to indulge your like gay side or whatever.
I hadn't indulged much more than violence up to that point in my life.
Yeah. So you feel like April and then Tom was like your first really or like your first developments of
romantic inclinations.
We got a train coming.
There is a train coming.
You ready to kill yourself? No, it's fine.
We will have to get off the
track. Suicide.
Walk down beside it.
All right. If you insist.
What is that noise? What's happening? Why are these lights on? That's awful loud.
For our audience, this is train footage. You know that new sound you were hearing for Hell yeah. Beautiful. These fucking things falls on us and lands right on our goddamn heads.
You're not gonna catch that one if you run beside it.
Come on, let's jump for it. Let's go to fucking let's figure out what state this motherfucker's going to. Bon voyage, motherfucker.
It's all an ass.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, right? I knew that, guys. You gotta have a seat. It's gonna be a intermission.
Yeah, intermission, everyone. Intermission. Take your piss breaks now. Oh shit, speaking of, I'm gonna fucking piss. That's a good idea, actually. Aye! Such a whistle. Remember this? It is 10:20 p.m. on the East Coast, PMCE. Filled Yeah, see, near Powell. Near on. Beautiful. I love it. And the caboose.
Kaboosh.
Ah, caboose. Bye-bye, train. Au revoir. All right, cool. That was cool.
I bet these rails are hot.
Let's touch them.
Touch the rail. Is it hot?
That's actually not bad. We should have put a penny on. I wonder if you put pennies on, if they just like shoot out like a machine gun at people. He's like, put your ear to the track. Do you hear anything? I should hear.
Yeah, you hear the whine, can't you?
I feel like I can.
Is it a really high pitched squeal?
Yeah. Dope. Alright. I am surprised the track.
I always thought you'd hear a rumble. I didn't figure it'd be a high pitched squeal.
Now you know. Learned something today. The beautiful sepia tone of the city. Doug, drop your cigarette. You got a cigarette? I'll smoke a fucking cig with you if you got one.
I have one left right now in the pack at home.
I really don't smoke too often. I've been like doing this thing where I'll smoke like one cigarette a day, or like not a day, but like a month or so. Every once in a while, I'll just be like, I'll smoke.
Usually I'd share a cigarette in an instant.
Fair enough, no worries. Or I'll smoke like a cigar. I'll go to the liquor store and be like, oh, they got cigars. I'll smoke one of these fuckers. So those are fun. Yeah, I still haven't taken up the habit, so that's good, I guess. But I was just giving drugs a chance, you know, like a little bit of methadone.
Once again, that's waiting for those moments right there. It's like, for each drug I've taken has come as a certain time in my life when it seemed like it was comfortable, the most comfortable.
When you want to talk about like your first drug experience for each one, or if you're
not implicitly. Those aren't stories I feel like need to be put down.
Confidential information.
Nah, it's like anybody who meets me will, hear that.
Yeah, guy.
The first time I took drugs.
True that. What about first time you smoked though?
I couldn't really recall the first time I smoked. I always liked the smell and the flavor of cigars. I used to snag cigars from my old man.
I do remember that. You smoking those mini cigars.
My smoking started with cigars. And when I first moved out of my parents' house, going and getting a cigar was like going and getting a piece of candy.
Yeah.
And then when I lost my first place and had to move back in with my parents, by that time I'd gotten a nicotine addiction, so I started bumming cigarettes off my dad.
Yeah.
And that's about that. That's all I got to say about it.
That's all right. Dude, that's funny because I had a Forrest Gump like fucking inclination when you said that shit. Let's see if I haven't got any fucking messages. Well, I was gonna see if I had any alright, let's see. Ay, caramba! See if I have anything. Yeah, no, I think we're pretty much winging it from here. We've at least gone over most of the things, but I'd love to keep fucking winging it, man. As long as we have.
We've got a bit of a ways walk back home left to go.
Let's fucking make it work till then. Do you want to drag up any memories? Like, if you have any that you feel like if you like run through your archive of memories, be like, this is.
I like to come back to and live on.
Yeah, just be like, this is a memory I like to be like jotted down. Like this is a memory that's been in my brain, and I haven't had anybody either to tell it to or write it down on to journal it down.
Save this memory. Well, about memories being part of your mortality.
Yeah.
It's like what were you after you're gone if nobody remembers you?
Memento mori.
I don't think my siblings have much memory of my grandmother Bobby that I have.
Yeah.
And I don't have much at all either.
Yeah.
My parents talk of this woman like she was a saint.
Yeah.
The only solid memory of my great-grandmother Bobby, the woman who named me,
Yeah.
was her making cereal for me, putting sugar in it and mixing it up.
Back in the old days when you couldn't, like, it wasn't pre-sugar, right?
Yeah. Well,
They did.
I'm sure. I think it was just cornflakes or something like that. But that's the earliest memory I have of. Well, it's not the earliest memory I have. We started the conversation with all that.
Yeah.
But
Didn't.
that's one of my earliest memories, and it's like.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the earliest.
The woman that named me, and I can't even rightly remember what her face looked like.
Didn't you say that, like, when you got your name, it was like a combination of Brandon or Randall or something like that?
Apparently, it was supposed to be. Bobby had suggested Brindle, like the color of the dog.
Yeah.
And after birth, Mom was still under anesthesia after labor. And when they asked her, she said Brandale, or they heard Brandale, and that's what they wrote down.
I mean, that's kind of cool, though, that you have such a unique name, man. You know, it's funny. I remember we were talking about, like, people you look like celebrities or whatever, and you'd always mention the Crow, you know, like Brandon Lee or whatever. But, dude, it's like a character from that movie is like, whenever I see him, I think of you. It's Michael Wincott. Do you know who I'm talking about? He was the main villain from The Crow. Dude, if you look at him, he has the same facial structure as you, man.
Oh,
so, like, whenever I see
I
him,
never noticed that before.
dude, you should check it out. I swear to God, if you ever watch The Crow, it's like, yeah, I could say it's like, all right, people think of Brandon Lee, but dude, if you look at Michael Wincott, the main villain in that movie, dude, his facial structure, like, reminds me a lot of you, dude. So, I always think of that. When I saw that character, I was like,
when I was a kid, I used to go to Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah.
And some kids from Boys and Girls Club once thought that I looked like, or that I might have been the kid that played Elliot in E.T.
Oh, interesting. Who fucking played E.T. again? I know Drew Barrymore was in it. I can't remember the kid.
Drew Barrymore was in it.
Yeah, I can't remember his name. So go watch that again. E.T.'s a good movie, for sure.
E.T.'s a good movie.
Do you know originally it was supposed to be Skittles, the candy, but like Skittles didn't go with it, so they're like, fuck it, we'll use Reese's Pieces.
Yeah.
I like that better though. Reese's Pieces are better than Skittles. Fuck.
It made it popular.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I love Reese's Pieces.
It was advertising that Skittles could have used, but they didn't.
Yep. What do you... Alright, we can talk about also, like, favorite...
Well, maybe we should come back to Coke and Pepsi.
Oh, my God. Like, Ouroboros sandwich. I have more things to say about that Pepsi challenge.
My opinion has greatly evolved on that.
I love
considering
Pepsi,
I know that advertisements now are just... It's just conglomerate. It's just corporal.
Yeah.
Corporations and shit. You know, there's no real human face behind these companies. I still don't like Pepsi.
Now I'm an RZ Cola guy.
But really the only reason I don't like Pepsi now is because Pepsi's too sugary, too thick.
Oh.
And Coke has more of a bite to it. You know, it's more refreshing.
Speaking of the story, do you know the story about why Pepsi won the Pepsi challenge?
What was that?
All right, so they would give them little small drinks of it, right? And give them, like, all right, based on the small drink, which you like better? And most people would agree, yes, Pepsi tastes better than the small drink. The problem is, if you drink a full cola, full drink of either one, Pepsi is too sweet. So for one swig, yeah, Pepsi will win. But for a whole drink, Pepsi is considered too sweet, and so most people prefer cola, and that's why Pepsi won the challenge, is because
small sips.
Yeah, based on small small sips, it wins. But if you have a full can, you want Coca-Cola because it goes down. The full experience is better. Yeah,
doesn't leave too sugary of an aftertaste.
Indeed. What about media? Like favorite media? You want to talk about like favorite video games and. Like, you could even do, like,
you know, do you
remember from your childhood, like, favorite video games? Or...
My number one favorite video game of all time is The Punisher for the Xbox.
I don't think I ever played that. I remember playing it on the NES, but I don't
Matt still has my copy of it.
Yeah.
I just saw it.
It's a very obscure choice.
Yeah, but was it last week I went and buried Sadie?
Oh, yeah. Do you remember what day that was? Dude,
it was Monday, last week.
Yeah.
It was Monday before last.
Man. Yeah, it's so crazy, because, like, my my writing, like, who I was, like, as an adult has ties to Sadie almost, you know? So it feels kind of like I'm a momentous occasion, you know?
Yeah. What was the question?
Oh, favorite media. Like, I was going to say, so you said favorite games. I don't know if you want to have, like,
the
games you treasured through your childhood or any good memories of them.
Man, Metal Gear Solid series is pretty influential in what to expect of narrative.
Yeah. What about favorite movies?
My favorite movie is What Dreams May Come with Robin Williams.
Oh, nice. Dude, you know, people always say I look like Robin Williams. That's like...
Oh, you do?
Nice. Dude, I mean, I've got a bunch of celebrity, like...
And you've got that same sporadic kind of energy.
Yeah.
It's just your anxiety kind of gets in the way.
Yeah, yeah. If only I didn't have anxiety, I could go full Robin Williams. Have you... Oh, do you remember when we watched one of my favorite... I think it might be my favorite Robin Williams movie. We watched it together, World's Greatest Dad.
Yep, yeah.
Dude, it's so trippy because he was still alive when we watched it.
That'd be my second favorite Robin Williams movie.
Yes. Dude, it's so crazy. I remember we watched that together, and, like, it's even more interesting in retrospect since he killed himself, you know? It's like, that was part of the plot.
Oh, yeah, considering that's the plot of the movie for his son.
Yeah.
Doing the same thing.
Yeah.
But his son autoerotic asphyxiated.
Yeah, like David Carradine.
Like David Carradine. Oh, well, you want to get onto a deeper level than that. There's some conspiracy theories out there thinking that David Carradine and Robin Williams and maybe some other people were about to blow the lid on shit like Pizzagate.
Oh, Lord.
Or like they'd finally...
You QAnon motherfuckers.
Yeah, and they had come across some knowledge behind the scenes in Hollywood, and they were considered, you know... Like, oh, these guys are too good, they would have blown the lid on the bad shit.
Yeah.
That, you know, some of it, like, Epstein's already been blown.
Yeah. Epstein didn't kill himself.
Well, yeah, it's like, you didn't have to kill Robin Williams, you already lost faith on Epstein.
For real, dude. That is shady as shit. It's like, yeah, his camera just went off. Like, that's almost, like, so obvious to... almost not be. Like,
then again, some of that level is just really like, you don't want to believe Robin Williams killed himself.
Do you?
And you hear like, well, did he really have dementia?
Yeah. You don't think the moon actually exists, do you? Fucking cock.
Well, I mean,
liberal cock. Nah.
Who's to say? Who's to say? My problem is I can't take one side of a fence or another on most things. Yeah. On one hand, I can believe Robin Williams killed himself. Comedians usually are really depressed people. For real. And maybe he did have dementia and was experiencing the early onsets of Alzheimer's or something to the equivalent. Yeah. Then again, he might have known some secrets of Hollywood that he wasn't happy about, and he was going to spill some beans on some bad people, and they had him taken out. So who knows? I can't jump on either side. I take everything, just about anything at face value. Yeah. What about favorite books? The Coyote series by Alan Steele. Yeah. It's man's first interstellar colony. And we do it on another Earth-like planet, but it's not a planet, it's a moon. And it starts with a mutiny. And that's good. It's a 5-book series. Nice. It took me a while to get through to find all the books in the series because you can't just pirate them. Shame. That's my go-to. Wheel of Time series by Robert Jordan was really good. Managed to finish that. Would have liked a little more out of it because it was a good follow. I mean, 13 books. Damn. That's why I don't follow series much. I'll go with an author or something. But I was like, oh man, it's such a commitment. Is there any book that stuck with me and I take life lessons from? Flatlander, but I didn't mean. Well, that's intellectual. Yeah. Well, you don't do that. That's not really moral. Yeah. Or ethical. Well, there's some ethics in there. Yeah. There's some ethics in Flatland. Dude, I'll always remember being like, wait, I'm not a very intellectual person. I'm like, anyway, let's sit down and talk about Carl Sagan. That's alright. Anyway. I'm not an intellectual person. Ayn Rand and Carl Sagan. Let's start this. As a non-intellectual person. But what were you saying that the book that other books that have like it really does mean something to me. of Mice and Men.
Oh, nice. Yeah, John Steinbeck.
Yes, at the Rainbow Family Gathering.
Oh, yeah.
There's different tent communities in the woods, kind of.
Yeah.
And they're all got different names, and they're all called kitchens.
Kitchen.
But they've all got different names, because you've got places like the Something Cafe and Home Shalom, which is the Jewish camp, or Fat Kids Camp, or Lovin' Ovens.
Lovin' Ovens.
Well, there's one place called the Library, which is a library.
Wait a minute,
in the woods.
Not the library.
Yeah.
I want a library in the woods, dude. That'd be pro.
And I was hanging out at the library, and just north, it was on the side of a hill, and just north of it was some coffee shop. I can't remember the name of it. And just south of it was the Something Cafe.
Nice. Is that what that was the name?
That was
of it?
the name of
I
it.
like
Something Cafe.
Don't you like him?
Let's go to the Something Cafe.
Yeah, the something. What is that? Something over there. It's like that.
Anyway.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, people were just hanging out in the library, and they had built like some shelves out of logs, little logs and branches.
Yeah.
And it was a pretty nice, cozy place. They had some tarps up, and they had books, lots of books in the woods. Somebody must have hauled all those books in.
Allegedly.
Anyway, I keep saying anyway.
Yeah, we're gonna.
I mentioned, it's like, why isn't anybody reading out loud? I thought somebody'd be reading out loud.
I will start this.
And someone says, well, why don't you go ahead? It's like, you got something you want to read? And everybody else around me is like, yeah, well, listen, we like to hear somebody read. And it's like, okay, I'll read.
Fine, if you insist.
And the first thing I read out loud was of Mice and Men, and I read it from just before sunset and finished it just before sunrise.
You're lucky you didn't choose Infinite Jest by David Foster Wallace.
Yeah. And that was also the first time I did shrooms, too.
Oh, nice.
But I wasn't reading of Mice and Men on shrooms, I was just high.
Yeah.
No, I did the Phantom Toll Booth and some of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy on shrooms.
Nice, that's pro.
And I spent a good portion of my time at Rainbow reading out loud to an audience, and there was a path that came through the library, and people would walk, up and down this path, and there were logs set out like benches, and people would stop, and I'd have an audience at any given point between 10 or 30 people listening to me read.
That's cool.
Because they'd keep coming up and down the path, and they'd stop for a while, and they'd listen, and then they'd go on some more, and other people would come by. But anyway, Of Mice and Men is important to me. I learned 2 lessons from Of Mice and Men. When to put down a dog, and guys like us. And, I mean, when to put down a dog is, that can get a bit complicated of a subject matter, but it's really when the dog's suffering more.
Yeah.
When is it more humane to take the suffering away?
Yeah. Guess that's fitting now that Sadie died.
I couldn't have never done it to Sadie.
Yeah, for sure.
She was in a position where even if she weren't able to really take care of herself, I'd make sure she had medicine to keep her out of pain, and there at the end, I was picking her up and carrying her everywhere.
Yeah.
Anytime she needed to go outside, I wouldn't let her, walk down the stairs ever. Not since she hurt herself on the stairs.
Who do you think right now would be the most painful for you, like that would die, like if they died and passed out?
And it died in my life right now?
Yeah.
Fuck Uriah.
Uriah? Even more than like mom or dad?
Those are things that after a time I've come to talk with my parents and my family about, and we're all...
Made peace with it?
We've all... not come to peace with it, I'll do my crying and I'll do my mourning.
But have to prepare.
We've all become prepared. We've mentally prepared ourselves, come to the understanding that, it's gonna happen one day, and we've got, mom and dad got life insurance policies, and they know where their plots are gonna be and shit.
Yeah.
Anyway, it would hurt a bit if mom and dad died because they're taking care of Micah's kids right now.
Yeah.
But I brought Uriah into my life because I love him.
Yeah.
And other than really helping him with what he wants out of life, there's nothing else for me. If Uriah was gone, that's about the time I'm starting to drop off the face of the earth.
Yeah, you feel like my meaning, like,
it's not,
has disappeared, or I have to reevaluate.
I keep in contact with friends and family,
Yeah.
but then I'm wondering, what am I staying here for now?
Yeah.
I was not trying to build a future. He wants to build himself some kind of future, secure it.
Yeah.
Like Jeff and him and Dwayne and his brother and all that are looking forward to developing that piece of property they've got out in Tazewell.
Yeah.
And building a life on that.
Yeah.
That's not me. And I know I'll never get a relationship out of Uriah.
Yeah.
We've talked about that. My emotions don't change.
Is this Harmon we're walking up, by the way?
Yeah, this is Harmon we're walking up. There's a big hill.
Yeah.
There's a big hill.
Gotta climb this hill.
I love him regardless.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything he can do to make me feel any different about him. Even if, even if he hated me.
Yeah, understandable, man.
It's like, it's not like I feel there's a sense of responsibility I certainly feel. But that's just, I can't describe it. But there's things about him that just fascinate me.
Yeah. I remember we were talking about him back long ago when we were in the trailer park, because Dave had those Uriah Heep albums or whatever, and
oh yeah, that's when I first met them.
Yeah, that's when you first met Uriah.
Yeah.
What's his last name, by the way? So don't.
Hensley.
Hensley, right?
Hensley.
Was it so you had just met Uriah around then, or?
Yeah, I'd just gotten started to know Uriah and Quinn.
Yeah. Is Quinn related?
Yeah, it's his brother.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
Quinn Hensley.
I don't know if I met Quinn.
Their dad's name is Brad.
Brad. Okay.
The dad hadn't moved in with us because he broke his hip.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Dead end. That's how I feel about my life. Not just.
It's a nice, quiet little place.
Yeah. Death is so quiet.
I've gotten a lot of company recently. I don't usually get company.
Yeah.
I keep myself pretty hermitized.
That's good, man. My dream existence is to be a hermit where I'm like old and young kids will come to me for advice, and
there's some parts of me that wants to go out to a dance club. I've been dancing. I've been out to dance clubs.
Yeah? How's that?
Before the COVID and all that, with Jeff and some other friends.
Dude!
It's nice. I like going out and dancing.
Nice, that's cool.
But there's also, I want to still have my privacy at home. I'm not going out to make friends.
Yeah.
I'm going out with friends.
Yeah, true. Oh, man. Speaking of going out, it made me think of, didn't you say, I don't know if you want to talk about this on audio or not, because I remember you vaguely alluded to this to me, and so you want to discuss it in person, but about the sushi place.
Oh, Makino's.
Yeah, so what happened there?
Alright, so, I started going to Makino's on my own around that time in my life that I had disposable income.
Yeah.
And I really love mackerel. I fell in love with mackerel.
Hell yeah.
So I'd go in there and I'd order myself a shit ton.
Yeah.
I'd go in for their dinner. On the lunch, they usually have all the sushi out on the bar, but for dinner, you have to fill out an order form.
Yeah.
And I'd order big portions. I'd order like 20 servings of mackerel. Mm-hmm. Or, 20 rolls.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't believe I'd eat it. They wouldn't bring me all of my food at once. And that's just a bit of an annoyance at first.
Yeah.
But later on, well, there was one occasion where I think either they were pulling a prank on a waitress and using me as the bait, or pulling a prank on me and using the waitress as the bait.
Yeah.
But I ordered seared tuna tatake, which is basically raw tuna, lightly seared lightly seared, so where it only has like a couple of millimeters of searing on it, of cooking on it, on one side, really.
Yeah.
And they brought me what were basically fully cooked fillets.
Huh.
And a couple of, like, the cooks stood around this one waitress, pointing and chuckling while I ate it.
Weird.
And
you're like, fuck these people.
There's always this one not elderly, but older Asian waitress who's always short, always resting bitch face.
God.
And Mom and Dad, and they'd treated me a bit curtly a couple of times.
Yeah.
And Mom and Dad had gotten me a $50 gift card. And it's not one of those plastic ones you scan. It's one of those that was written out.
Yeah.
On a cardboard, on like a Hallmark card.
Yeah.
But it was supposed to be a $50 gift card from Makino's, and I went there and I used it. And when it was that older waitress, the one that's always looked mad, and she sneered at it, and she took it away. And after I finish my meal, I continue to sit there for like 15 minutes or something like that, maybe. And she never came back to me, so I just left, and I never went back to Makino's.
Weird. That's crazy, dude.
It's like, and the meal's like $25.
Yeah.
It was like, so I just used $50 gift card on one meal, on a $25 meal. So fuck you guys. Fuck Makino's now. They've been rude to me. They just slowly went downhill, started becoming more consistently rude to me.
That's lame, dude. Especially with such a consistent customer.
I used to leave a pretty okay tip.
Yeah.
If things got tighter on me, I didn't leave a tip so often.
Yeah.
Maybe that pissed somebody off.
This guy's shitting on our service. Fuck up his meal.
Yeah, if you're gonna shit on us, let's shit on his meal. Well, then I'm not gonna come back.
Yeah,
you're gonna lose customer.
So it goes.
I like sushi a lot, but
me too.
I don't like sushi enough in order to have a bad experience when I try to go eat it.
Yeah. What's your other favorite foods? I like Indian food. I don't know if you... You want to sit out here somewhere and talk a little bit, and then we finish up?
I like meat and potato staples, kinda.
Yeah, I might sit. I'll just sit here.
I like a full English breakfast.
Hell yeah. Doug went out and ate it. Where the fuck did he eat? Some place called Golden Girls. I was like, I can't remember what it's at. But I was like near the show or whatever. But he seems like those southern diners.
I like Eggs Benedict.
Oh, nice. Those are good. Crepes. Oh man.
I love pastries of all sorts. Really, meat, spiced meats, seasoned meats.
Oh yeah. What are your favorite
seafood?
What are your favorite restaurants around here other than Makino's, since you know?
Oh, Shoney's.
That doesn't count. I don't
go anywhere.
I know.
Really?
I know.
We get catered at work.
I gotta take you to Nashville. You get, if you like spicy food, they got hot chicken. It's their signature item, the Nashville hot chicken. It's like
yeah, Bojangles is okay. Its stuff's pretty spicy.
Popeyes.
I haven't had much Popeyes.
No, dude.
Bojangles right at the end of the road.
Dude, if you go to Nashville, dude, you don't you can, dude. Just ordering a medium will make your fucking mouth like. Dude, and that reminds me of that memory we had when we ate the habanero.
The habanero, and had to hold my head back with an ice cube up my nose and let the cold water from the ice cube drip down my cavity, my nasal cavities, my sinuses.
I remember your face being so pale, dude. That's crazy. You and also that James Hammond dude. I remember him doing it habanero. That's another callback to him. Yeah, he did it too. Not at my house. He did it at school. I don't know how the fuck people had habaneros at school. Someone got a habanero, dude, and they ate at school, and their fucking face got it's like pale,
yeah, it's almost enough to go home from.
Yeah, it's crazy, dude.
For a kid.
Yeah, you said the night. I can't remember what you said. You're like, yeah, spicy, no big deal. And you're like, oh.
Yeah, I didn't think. I like to eat jalapenos all the time. Habanero can't be that bad.
Piggy, ghost pepper habanero. Oh, yeah, chili.
I learned what a habanero was that day.
Oh, I got all
habanero? You mean it's like a jalapeno? It's just a spicy pepper? Well, I like jalapenos.
That's good shit, man. I love it.
Yeah, it wasn't like having a pickled jalapeno.
Yeah. Shit, man. My glasses are fogging, man. I gotta.
Yeah, even right now, I could enjoy a pickled jalapeno.
Let's go get some pickled jalapenos. Dude, I wish our diners was open 24/7, dude. You could just like drive out and eat anywhere. That'd be fucking awesome, man.
Yeah.
But what are you gonna do? Yeah,
when I was young, all those times I thought I wanted a pickled jalapeno, I probably just wanted a pickle. Now I got pickles, and it's like, I buy them because I think I'm going to want a pickle sometime, but I hardly ever eat them. I buy bananas the same way. I'm going to want a banana, but it's like, I got to make myself eat the banana. It's like I've got to make myself eat the apple. I got apples in the fridge. I've had one.
Jeez. I like pickles. I like bread and butter pickles. Those are really good.
Yeah.
Because they're like sweet, but I don't like the actual sweet pickles. Those have a weird taste, but the bread and butter pickles have like this crisp, really good taste. I like those.
So I'm kind of sweaty, and we're standing outside my house again after a long walk.
Yeah.
We can have another interview later. We can do this again later, but I kind of want something cold to drink
Let's
right
do
now.
it. We can finish up as we walk in. I'll see where we're at. But yeah, we got some good shit, man. We can even, I mean, I don't know.
There's always
pretty much
conversations.
Yeah.
There's always more to recollect on.
As we walk in, do you have anything that's in your brain you feel like you didn't get to cover? You know, you could mention it now, and then we'll go in.
If I'm going to say anything, like, profound, maybe.
You don't have to say anything.
I know, I'm not looking for anything profound, but if I was going to say anything that I think I missed or skipped a beat on, it's that, I think, touch some base on the nature of the universe.
Yeesh.
The nature of the universe is geared towards evil, you know.
Maltheism.
But just because there's evil doesn't mean that there's got to be good, The universe isn't just only evil, it's just geared towards evil. It's so evil can know. Go back to Carl Sagan, we're a way for the universe to know itself. It's just because there is evil means we should be good.
When did you first start getting like Carl Sagan and like intellectual, or if you don't call it intellectual science matters, or
back in high school, the teacher, Mr. Voss, he's the first teacher I had that really got me into really appreciating the acquisition of knowledge.
Yeah. Where was he? What school did he teach at? What grade?
Union County High School. He taught all grades. He taught life science and biology.
Mr. Voss.
Yeah.
You do like
biology 1 and 2. I was his teaching aide for a little while. He's passed now. I went to his funeral.
Oh man, when was that?
A couple of years back. I can't remember exactly.
How old was he? Do you remember?
I don't remember exactly that either. Cancer took him.
Okay.
The cancer.
So it goes. Man.
But, I don't know, maybe the next time we talk, we should get a little more existential on things like the nature of the universe.
Yeah, we could do a philosophical, like this was like biographical. Next time we can do philosophical.
A little bit more philosophical. We'll touch a little bit more on,
that'd be cool.
Critical thought.
I'd love that.
Yeah.
That'd be fucking awesome. In these final, quiet moments, we can begin to sign off on the interview between Greg Huffman interviewing Sir Brandale Elmore.
Stay cool, be safe.
When's your... I can't remember. What's your middle name?
Daniel.
I don't even know if I ever remembered. Mine's Everett.
Yeah, Gregory Everett Huffman.
Dude, you know what's interesting is they spell Everette, but if it was Gregory Everett Huffman, they spelled it correctly, like EVO, which is 7 letters. My name would be 777. That would be fucking cool numerology.
777.
Yeah, so close.
Who's this pulling up now? Is that
Who
Jeff?
pulling up? Is it Jeff?
That is Jeff.
Jeff Brown, right?
Uh-huh.
Alright, cool.
Came back home. Alright.
Signing off. Last words, Brenda.
Stay cool, be safe.
There we go. And the end. And I'll go ahead and upload this. Go tomorrow. I will. I will.